Hello and welcome to this video tutorial on the SMT administrator functions. In this video we are going to look at the estimated vaccine coverage. So we are going to see how to add coverage estimates into the SMT and how to edit coverage estimates per location. To begin with, I'm going to log into the SMT as a country administrator. So I will click login. I'm going to select my user, which is this one, and I'm selected country admin. Once I'm logged in as a country administrator, I need to go to store data, and here there is a tab called vaccine coverage. What is most important here is to understand that the key purpose of the SMT is to manage vaccine stocks at the storage locations. So the SMT does not offer any functionality to record service delivery activities at health facilities or any vaccination points. So actual vaccination coverage is not recorded in the SMT platform. So when we are talking about vaccination coverage here, we are talking about the expected or the planned vaccine coverage for each routine administration activity of the national program. So this is basically a theoretical value that is going to serve for the calculation of the annual needs for each vaccine. So obviously we have our population estimates, but if we are anticipating that we are going to have a coverage of near 100%, the needs of vaccine is going to be much higher than if we are expecting a vaccination coverage of 50%, even if our population figures are the same. That is why it's so important to enter into the SMT the expected vaccine coverage for each one of our planned immunization targets. And this is a value that needs to be entered every year. So we can see here on the right, we have the menu to select the year. We are now in 23. I can also enter the estimates for the following year, for 24, or I can review the data for the previous years. The previous year's data can only be seen, but it cannot be edited. Now, the information here is linked to the program data. So if you come to the screen for the first time and you have not entered any information, you are going to see that probably this column here is empty, because this column is just going to show whatever you have entered as your program data. So if I go back to my program data, I can see here that for routine vaccinations, I only have one item entered, which is BCG. So that is why when I come to vaccine coverage, the platform is only asking me to enter the estimated coverage for the BCG vaccination. So before coming to this functionality, make sure that all the data is entered through the program data functionality. We have a separate video tutorial on how to manage the program data. Once you have done that, you will see here your different routine vaccinations, and then is where you can enter the values. So for example, let's assume that for BCG, based on the data from previous years, we know that the coverage is quite high. So we have some estimate for this year of 90%. So I can just click here, edit, and add 95, and click save. This value is going to be reflected here for the national level. I can also enter the values for the lower levels. And the data will be reflected in my store hierarchy below. So these are the values that the SMT is going to use to calculate the needs for the year for this specific vaccine. Once this information has been entered, it's also possible to edit and customize the values per location. So based on your local context, you might know that there is one specific district, for example, or one specific region where the coverage is maybe much lower than the rest of districts or much higher, and you want your needs, the calculation of your needs to be adjusted accordingly to make sure that you don't have too much vaccine and you don't end up having wastage. So this is something that you can manually edit. So for example, if we know that in this district store South 1, because of the characteristics of that location, the coverage for BCG is usually 90% or 85%. You can just edit it manually. So you click here on the edit button, you change your value, and you click save. So now the calculation for that specific location has been updated accordingly. So what we recommend to do is that the country administrator at the national level, you set up the targets for the country, and then each subnational administrator can review the targets for their own location and can adjust the values accordingly. And remember that this is information that needs to be updated annually. So when you come towards the end of the year, make sure that you select the following year and you enter the information for example, 2024. You will have to go to the program data, enter the routine immunization that is planned for that year, and then here come and enter the estimated coverage for each one of those vaccines. So this is all. I hope this video tutorial has been useful. See you in the next one.